Hey guys, welcome back to Craft Tea. We have another good episode for you today. We had Rachel Donald from Mr. Nola's Glitter. Miss Nola herself joined us. We got into a lot of awesome conversation about why she got started, how she got started, and honestly, a lot of the paths that we've shared between our businesses along the way. So definitely want to stick around for this episode. It's coming up next.
Well, as you can see, we're still having tea.
All right, guys, welcome back to Craft Tea. This week we do have a guest. It is episode, number 29? 29? 30. 30. It's episode 30. I get the episode wrong every week.
No, you get right.
But we have Mrs. Nola from Mr. Nola's Glitter with us. Rachel, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll get into some fun conversation.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Rachel, also known as Miss Nola. For Mr. Nola's Glitter, I'm the better half, the cuter half of the Mr. Nola duo. And I'm really excited to be here to talk and have some fun and get some craft tea going.
Yay! Rachel, so I have known you for quite some time now, but how did you get started crafting? Because all I remember is seeing you in some kind of dark basement or a garage somewhere doing lives at 3 o'clock in the morning, making cups, having fun, and I'm addicted.
Yep. So actually, I started. I followed a page. I think her name is Rockstar Glam House. Like 5 or 6, 7, 9, almost 9 years ago.
Right.
She made like that river table. You know how like you take a piece of wood and you cut it down, and the beach has always been my happy place. I love everything about the beach, the colors, the being there, everything. And I was scrolling, probably Pinterest at the time. I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I was like, that's nice. It was like $800. I was like, that's nice, but I bet you I can make that. And so I started down the road of, doing all that. And I didn't even know what epoxy was. And as I'm doing research, so I go to get, all the stuff. And I mean, I have like a lot of money in this table, and I have painted it. I've bought all the things for the center. And then I poured the epoxy, and I'm like looking, and it's bubbling everywhere, right? Because, when you pour regular epoxy deep, with anything on it, like live things like sand, seashells, and all that, it bubbles, right? So I'm looking, I'm like, why doesn't mine look like the ladies, right? So I'm reading, I'm like, how to get the bubbles out, so I'm, Googling, and it says add heat. So I was like, got it. So that's all I read, like add heat. So I read the first line, and so I took a heat gun and started at the end of the table, and I was like, oh, it's popping the bubbles. That's cool. I should have read a little further down that said, don't burn it because you will literally burn the crap out of your epoxy. So I watched my 8-foot table look like someone peed down my river because the epoxy ambered instantly because I had burnt the crap out of it. It flash cured all the way down that table, and it looked like someone actually just started peeing in my river. And I was like,
have it.
I do. It's in the attic because after I had put so much money in that, I was like, it's a reminder that, just because we think we can make it, we should probably just buy it from people that make it right. And so it's a reminder. But so I was like, what the heck? So that started me down like, well, nobody told me about that. Well, if I'd have read a little further in the whatever I Googled, it would have said, hey, be careful because you'll burn that. And then like the next search brought up a glitter tumbler. And I was like, well, what the heck is that? And that's what started it. And I was like, okay. And I think the very first person that I found was Heather with Feather Bear Bling. Because back in the day, she was the only person doing this and the only person telling anybody how to do it.
Yeah. Girl, I was telling everyone to make turners.
Yeah, like I bought, I have that video memorized from Dan, how to put the little spigots from the bike thing and all that. I remember going to the bike store in our town, and I'm like, hey, I need this, this, and this. And the guy's like, what are you fixing? And I'm like, Nothing. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, okay, well, hang in here with me. This is what I'm doing. He was like, you're going to do what? And I'm like, yeah, this. And they were just like, here, poor girl, just let me give you all these things. So I ended up
Love
buying
that.
the parts from them or whatever. But just when we moved, like last year, I found all of my parts that I had bought from Dan. So I sent them back to her. I was like, here's something to put on your mantle to like where you started.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I
So
remember that.
yeah, that's how it started. And so, I mean, I didn't even know what glitter, I mean, I knew what glitter was, but not in the
Not like this.
capacity. Yeah, not in the capacity of what, where we are now. So, yeah, it was that stupid river table. Yeah, that was it. That's how I got started. Yeah.
Do you remember everyone rushing to Lowe's for the rotisserie things?
Oh my
Making them give
God.
them to them for $10. It was like
Yes.
a game. They were like, I bet
Yeah.
you I can get it for $10.
Right, right. Yes. And then like after then after there was something else. Oh, the 2 packs of those ugly, what is it, Trailblazer tumblers from Walmart. Remember when they had the
Yes.
Christmas packs or whatever and they were like $24.99 and you're like, yeah, that's
Whoa.
good. And then they like knocked them down to $5 and it was like Armageddon out there.
Well, because
They were
they
like,
sued Walmart. Remember, Yeti sued
Yep.
them. I went to every
Yep.
single Walmart in
Same.
Jersey and PA and took them all. And some places had them for 50 cents. I was like, yes, I will take
Yes,
all.
I want them. I still, so I just recently tried to get rid of some stuff. Like I'm a hoarder when it comes to craft stuff because I never know when I'm going to need it.
Same.
You know,
As
I'm
soon
like,
as you
you
get rid
never
of it, you
know.
need it.
Exactly. It's going to come back around. I know it. And then I already have it. So I'm just basically, I'm thinking out loud, like I'm saving us money, right? Because I have this.
So you can't find it,
So
you got to buy it again.
yes. And like, that's the reason why I have 4 glue guns. That's just the instance right there because
And
I have,
also,
you know.
all the glue guns only have little glue sticks, but all the glue guns that I buy are big glue guns,
Oh, the
and
big
it's
ones.
bullshit. It's
Yes.
bullshit.
Yes.
They don't
Yes.
make colored big glue sticks. They're all colored mini glue.
I know. And how are you supposed to do one of those little drippy things with that when you got a little baby thing? I know. Trust me. I know. Oh, see, I should have Mr. Nola here to listen to this because he don't believe me. He was like, why do you have 4? And I was like, I need 4. He was like, but you already have one. I was like, I know, but this one's different. He don't get it. I'm
And
like,
then it matters
is.
where it's at. Or little
Exactly.
glue guns at home, but I want to do glue stuff here. That's why this guy needs glue. I don't have the glue gun. It's at home.
See? Now you have my permission to go buy you a new glue gun. Get a good one. Get the cordless one. I got a cordless.
That's why I want the little. We have the big Ryobi battery powered, but I need the little one.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
I think I got that on Prime Day last year. I think.
I remember with the Turners. I remember everyone was making their own, right? Crying to this one that I can't wire it. I could not wire this thing to save my life. And I'm like, I can't strip this. Your strippers aren't working. Something's broken. He's like, it does work. You just squeeze it and pull. I'm like, but he was away on storm.
She was making her own. I wouldn't. She was like, can you help me make a cup turner? And I said, 1, no. I don't even know what that is to even.
I don't have no idea.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know.
Away on storm. Finally, I cried so hard. He wasn't home to make it. He bought me the one from Feather Bear's husband.
Yeah.
I still have it somewhere around here. I won't get rid of them.
So my story is, you remember those ones that look like a carousel? It was like a big circle, and it had like all the sticks coming out, and they all stuck on that big circle, and it went like this. It looked like a Ferris wheel.
I haven't heard about that one in a long time.
Yeah, so it looked like a Ferris wheel. So I was like,
I do remember it.
Yes. So I was like, I could do that. So I'm in the garage. I'm out there doing all the things. And it was like 3:00 in the morning. I come in the room and I go to bed and I'm like crying so hard where I'm like, like this. And David's like, what's the matter? And I was like, I can't get it. And he was like, what is your problem? I was like, I was so close to like having it. I didn't want to ask for his help because I'm like, I got this. I'm independent. I could do this. I was crying so hard. He was like, why didn't you just come get me? I was like, I beat it to shit. It's dead. Like I took the hammer and I was so mad after that. There was nothing left. So that's when I went and bought parts from Heather. I mean, I just beat it to shit. I was like, I hate everything. And he was like, I cannot believe you were crying so hard over this. I was like, I had it, but it just wouldn't work. Yeah, it was terrible.
What wound up being your first like stable-ish turner? Like your first turner you could use more than once.
So David ended up taking the parts from Dan's, and at the time he worked for a beer distributor place where you get all those cool like beer displays and like all the swag from like all the alcohol.
Mhm.
So he had gotten these wooden shelves from like a wine, something that they usually set up in like a liquor store or whatever, and the wood was really nice. So he took two of those. He took the bike chain, and he smashed it in between. So it was like it had two on one side and two on the other. And he put it on
Mm.
this little rolling cart. So I could move it around like inside because the garage wasn't air conditioned,
Ooh.
or heated or whatever. So like I could just like roll it inside. And that worked for the longest time until um, I started doing the bigger cups. Like I was doing small things, but then when you started getting those like big 30 ounces and stuff like that, um, you would have to have cups on both sides because it pulled down on those gears and on the chain, and the chains would fall off every time. But it ended up being the one that he built. It was ugly as sin, and I have to see if I still have a picture of it.
Please.
But yeah, so it had some kind of like wine, the name of some brand of wine on the back of it or whatever. But he ended up making it with the little pieces that we got from Dan at Feather Bear, and it worked for the longest time. And so my very first professional turner was probably 6 months after we started Mr. Nola's, and it was my birthday present. I was like, I'm going to buy me a turner. It was like the most expensive thing I had ever bought in my cup making journey, and it was from the Bowens, and I still have it. It's one of those ones that was back in the day when people wanted to do them on both sides, which I don't know why, like on this side and this side. And I still have it and it still runs. But that was my first official cup maker big girl purchase.
Big girl
Yeah.
purchase besides all
Yeah.
the supplies for the river table, of course, which you were
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Good grief. Yeah. The epoxy that was spilled out of that bottom, because I didn't know you're supposed to seal that stuff. I'm like, oh, it didn't say in the directions. Like, well, there was no directions. I was just like eyeballing it. And I didn't really know that epoxy would seep out of everything. So like I poured it in and it instantly came out the bottom of the table. And so there was like literally we had to grind off the epoxy off the patio because it had like spilled
no.
out. And I'm like, how do you make it stop? It was terrible. There's so much into that table.
I love that story.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
I have to dig out the table and take pictures of it because
Please.
I have pictures of it on my phone, but I don't know if I never put the legs on it because I mean by this point it weighs 5,000 pounds, and like where are you going to put a table that weighs that much?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but it was beautiful before I burnt it with the heat gun trying to pop the bubbles. So
It's art. You just added to it.
Or
yeah.
salvage it, sand it down, and
Yeah.
then put a clear coat on top. You'll be good.
Yeah, I think it's just too deep. Like I burnt it. Like I burnt the crap out of it. Yeah. I mean, it's in the center. I mean, it's on a piece of wood that's like, I don't know, like 3 inches deep. And like it's down there. It's like it looks like on Jurassic Park, the little amber with the little
Yeah,
creature.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like yellow. It's so gross.
So what was the click or whatever it was that was like, we're gonna sell glitter? Because you were like one of the first 4 people that we know in our little community that started selling
Right.
glitter. And I was like, there's no way. Like we're all just selling glitter now. Like this is so cool. Like it seemed very
Right. It wasn't even my idea. It was actually David's idea. We were coming back from visiting my parents in Chicago, and we were just driving, and he's like, "You ever thought about selling glitter?" And I'm like, "Great,
Out
why?
of all
Why
the
would we do
people.
that?" Yeah, right. And I'm like, no, never in a million years. Like, why would we do that? And he was like, well, I've been doing a lot of research. And I'm like, first of all, what? It went into like, I was spending so much money on glitter and like, I'm like, maybe not so much. I think it was like so much at the time, maybe, because I really don't remember there wasn't a lot of people that sold glitter.
No, I
So
only
like
got it
it
from y'all
was,
guys.
I think it was like bulk glitter was my first,
Yes.
um, like, because Heather, I mean, we were following Heather at this point. I mean, she's the only person we have to follow. And, she used to get all of those little kits with like the glitter. What are we doing with those? You can't do anything with the little jar of glitter, right?
No.
But we bought them. We bought a lot of them. And
I still
so.
have some.
Yeah, I do too. I still have a box that I can't part with. There, it's like my my glitter that I bought in the beginning. I still have some
Yes.
recollection stuff in there, but
Yes.
it's like a time capsule. You just open it up and you're like, oh, okay, and you put it back in. But so I was like, so he's like, just hear me out, and so he's like, we could make some extra money. Like we both had corporate jobs. Like I was a payroll administrator. Like I crafted, I did payroll during the day and I stayed up all night making cups, not selling anything. Like I wasn't selling cups. I sold like to a few of my family, but I'm very self-conscious when it comes to my art. And if I give it to you and it's not perfect, bad on you if you talk crap about it. But if I sell it to you and it's not perfect, it gives me anxiety. So I don't sell anything that I make. I did to like family in the beginning, and then I gave a lot away. But even to this day, if somebody asks me, hey, is that for sale? I'm like, absolutely not. I don't need that stress. I'm like, I don't need that stress. So I started thinking, I was like, if we sold glitter, I would have a lot, like I could have more than I have now. And I'm like, and if it doesn't work out, whoops, I just have all this glitter, and I'd be the cool kid because I have all the glitter. And I was like, okay. So we started, 18 hours later, we had a business plan. Because we started traveling like it was probably on a Tuesday. So I was in the car reaching out to people, doing research, not across the keyboard. Sorry.
There it is.
And so as a joke, because when we were all in our groups and stuff, everybody had like a little nickname or whatever. And they always called me Nola because I lived in New Orleans. And so when we talked about our spouses or mates or whatever, it was the Mr. or Mrs. of whatever your nickname was. So David was always Mr. Nola, like, oh, tell Mr. Nola, hey, like people would see him in the background and we're like, hey, Mr. Nola or whatever. And so he was like, what would we call ourselves? And I'm like, Mr. Nola's Glitter, duh. That was a total joke. That I did not mean that at all. And he was like, cool, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, I couldn't take it back at that point. So it stuck. And so we started from then. And I mean, we decided that we wanted everything branded. We wanted it to be totally different from anything out there. And so, it started with the names of our glitters, how we named our glitters, and with the names of our glitters on our website, we do the history of how we named it. We have drinks, everything around New Orleans. Everything is named after what is here. And we get more people that comment on, like, they have fun just poking around the website because they get to read all the history of like all the things, So, and then, when we have people that come to town, they're like, oh, they'll bring their glitter and they'll take like pictures of their glitter in the place that the glitter's named after. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt or whatever. And it just kept going. Yeah.
I ordered glitter from you this summer that you opened, and I remember I was moving, but I was moving like in a week or so. So I don't even know what the hell I was ordering glitter for, but it was the Mickey heads, and I was super pumped for them because shapes aren't really out yet. Definitely not new shapes. I was like, I need those silver Mickey heads.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know why I had this idea in my head that it was going to take like 1 to 2 weeks to ship out from you guys. So I was panicking. I'm like, oh my God, like it's going to come to this house. It's not going to be here. I emailed, and I believe it was Mr. Nola that emailed me back. He's like, oh, it's going to ship in like today. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Carry on. Same address.
Yeah. So that's one thing that it's really important to David. He's so like, I'm the creative part. He's like the business part. He's like, I'm like party in the front, he's business in the back type of thing. And he's always been like a very big stickler of like customer service and all of that. So he takes it personal when people get upset about not getting their orders or anything like that. So sometimes he takes it too personal. Look at coffee delivery. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, the plastic.
Oh, I'd rather go down. Oh my God.
Oh, is that what that 13 said? This girl came in here and handed me a tumbler straw.
Well, I mean, that way it doesn't break. Oh, it's
She
really
forgot to
tall.
grab
We don't have
straws.
straws in New Jersey.
Oh, even with iced coffee?
You got
Paper.
it paper, which
Oh, gross.
you might as well drink out of a toilet paper roll.
Exactly. Those are so gross. They're like that they're like that in California too. They're like, "Do you want a straw?" And I'm like, "No, I'd rather just die." Yeah. Then as soon as they touch your drink, it's like floppy.
We
Ugh.
don't
Might
even
as
have
well just
plastic
pull-
bags.
When we went there with Kelly staying, they were like, "Do you want a bag?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Of course I want a bag." And they're like, "What was it? 25
$1.
cents or
Yeah.
yeah." And I'm like, "Wait, for what? A bag?" No, I'll just put it in my shirt, I guess.
And
I
that's
don't
what
know.
you do. You'll be like, it's the worst at like Rite Aid or something. And I'm like, oh, I just have to go for like my face cream or something. And then you got face
Right.
cream, Tylenol, tampons, all
Yeah.
things down the table. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, the person behind me's waiting. I'll just pick up all my personal shit and go.
Yeah, and just hold it like a baby, like I'm robbing the place. Oh, that's crazy. That is
But
crazy.
There's no irony in the fact that 100% of this cup is made of plastic.
Right? Like, how do they get away
I
with
can't
that? Why
have the
don't
straw, but the cup can be plastic.
Right.
I don't know what's going on?
That's
I won't
weird.
take them seriously until the plastic bottles are banned. I won't believe that they're doing this for the nature until Coca-Cola has to come to its knees also. That's where I'm at.
Right, exactly. So we were somewhere on vacation and they had like in one of the airport terminal lounges or whatever, and they had the water was like in a little milk carton, like kind of like you get your protein. It was like in these little
Yeah.
things.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah,
But
so that was the
there-
first time I'd ever seen
Pretty
that.
soon they're just gonna like squirt it in your mouth. Like you'll just pull
Yeah.
up and drive through and be like,
Like,
blast
yeah,
it.
or
Yeah,
pop a
see ya.
little dissolvable pill. You're gonna get them in like
Yeah, there you
a
go.
little paper
Well,
sack.
where is it?
Yeah.
I think the UK has or somewhere over there has stands. Like they have water, like you know, you go to the
Free.
AMC and you put the cup in the
Yeah.
having a whole bunch of trouble with words, but I feel like you're following me.
Yes, no, I seen like a documentary
And then you
on
put
it.
your own cup there and it
Like all the water there is free.
but
That's
anyway.
what somebody was just saying recently. They're like, doesn't water come from the ground? Why isn't it free? And I'm like, I don't know about that, but okay. I'm weird though. I can't drink water out the faucet. I don't know if it's like if I'm just like brainwashed
I don't
or
either. It's
I
gotta
just
be
can't.
spring
It's
water.
probably better not to.
yeah. People like I have a filter, and I'm like, I don't care. I have one too, and I don't do it at my own house. So like, no.
I don't trust
Mm,
it. I
Yeah.
do water testing every time.
Yeah, I don't know. And they're probably just putting faucet water in a bottle. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're
That's
doing
all
that,
Deer
you know.
Park
But
is.
yeah, so I'm just like the dummy that's like, yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah,
I like my water with
you put a
margarita
label
in
on
it.
my water before I drink it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, made me feel better about it anyway. Fancy sticker or
I put
decal or something.
margarita in my water and call it a day.
There you go. That's better. That's a lot better. Yeah.
So what was it like transitioning from crafter to now craft supplier? Was it weird for you or were you just like, this is what I was born to do?
I don't think it was weird. I think that it kind of stifles your creativity sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want to do like everything that everybody's doing, because just because I sell glitter doesn't mean that I'm not still a consumer. Like I still want everything that my friends want. If they're buying this from this place and this from this place, I am too. I get so many packages from David's like, why are you buying this? And I'm like, why not? Like I'm still a consumer, and I think a lot of people I don't know if you've run into this, but a lot of people give me shit about it because they're like, well, why are you buying from me? And I'm like, I don't know. Why am I not supposed to buy from you? Like, I don't know. So like the first time I had bought vinyl from someone, they had bought an ad on Facebook. So like the sponsored ads or whatever. And I'm that consumer. Look, if you need something bought in the middle of the night, put it on my TikTok page. I'm going to buy it. I don't even know who I'm buying it from. Okay. I'm that person. I'm just going to tell you.
Soul sister.
And so like I'm scrolling and I seen this ad for like all this like specialty vinyl, like all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that looks cool. The price was great. And I'm like, cool, bought a box of it. Bam. Didn't think anything of it. So like the next 2 days I get I'm not gonna say the company's name, but I get a message from this company. And
I'm kidding.
and I get a message, and like it was from this business to my personal page, and it said, "Can I be honest with you?" And I'm like, because I had some prior run-ins with this business before. And I was like, sure, sure, and they were like, I just want to know, like, why did you purchase from me? And I'm like, at first I'm going, I didn't, like, cause I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, I'd have to admit, like, when I seen your order, I was like, oh, great. Another thing that they're going to steal from me. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, yeah. Like, and I'm like, and so I didn't even realize. So I'm like going through my emails and I'm like, where the heck did I buy that vinyl from? And so I'm like, oh, I mean, so it doesn't even like, I don't discriminate. And if I like it, I like it, and I was like, I can assure you that that's not nothing that I'm ever, I just liked it. We do pinstripes and you do offsets and like, it was a good deal. It was like a boatload of like specialty cool vinyl and like it was pretty. And I'm like,
I had my credit card ready.
Yeah, like I mean, it saved. Like I didn't even have to get up, so it was like done. And and I still actually didn't actually put the face of that business to the face until she messaged me on her personal, and she sent me a message and she was like, I just want to thank you for, placing an order with me. And I'm like, huh? Again, like it, and I'm like, so then it like all clicked and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, honestly, I was like, I didn't even pay attention to who it was. I was like, the ad was great. It showed me what I wanted and I bought it. And so I got that from a few people, not a lot, but a few people used to do that to me. Not so much anymore, but they would just be like, why? And I'm like, why not? I don't have it. You have it and I like it and everybody else likes it too. So like, why can't I like it too? You know what I mean? So
I think some people are stuck in a way. I mean, there was a way to be stuck in the beginning. We were there was defensive.
Yeah, we all were.
We were all very new.
Well, nobody did any of what we're doing, really.
Right. And so there was nothing to follow.
So it's kind of natural for us to kind of, borrow from each other in some instances.
Right. So I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I was like so anti, like, I would get so angry with y'all. This is tea. We're gonna spill it. All right. So I was like,
I get angry with her all the time.
I'm like, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? And so because of how we all started and how we were all already like divided before we kind of even started, like we weren't personal before we started. And then when we started, we all have our great ideas, but at some point we're all doing the same freaking thing, right?
Yeah.
So those ideas have to cross over, and it would be stupid not to model something that's working for your customer base, because your customer base and my customer base, we do have crossovers, but you guys have a loyal following. We have a loyal following. So it's not wrong to do that. And I am not ashamed to say this. It took me probably 3 years to be able to be adult enough to say that, to where like if someone would say, oh, did you see XYZ is doing that, and it's something that I had done already, and I'm like, of course they are. Of course they are. And I would get that like instant, like, ugh. Yeah. And then David, it was David. I swear, don't tell him I said this, but he is probably the smartest out of both of us. And one day he's like, okay, I want you to think about it this way. He's like, I want you to take the names out of it. He said, I want you to look at it as two successful businesses, and one business is doing really good at this and the other business is doing really good at that, and they're like, we want to reach more people. Well, this company is doing this, let's do that, and that company's doing this, and let's do that. He said it's done worldwide with every company. He said, and I said, okay. And he said, and nobody gets mad about it. He's like, nobody is like losing sleep or like scruffing and like, boot lip. And every time somebody's name's brought up and gets real mad, he said, why wouldn't, he said, you should take that. We all should take that as a compliment that we're doing something good enough that someone wants to do the same thing or wants to be, or we're setting examples for small businesses to say, hey, you just have to work your ass off and you can do it, And after he explained it that way, I was like, I hate that you're wrong. I mean, that you're right. And that I'm wrong about it. Like, I literally loathe that it made sense to me. And I was like, why can't he be wrong ever? And so I was like, you're right. You're right. And so when I took the negative out of it and started looking at it in a positive way, like, it makes me proud now that we can tell people that this is not an easy thing to do. No. But if you just stick with it and you bust your ass and you cry in the shower like a real adult, everybody can do it. Like, what I'm saying? Like, not, you can do whatever you set your mind to. Yes. And the only thing I'm really sad about is I missed a lot of relationships and business relationships and friendships with a lot of people in the beginning of this because I was thinking the wrong way. And I'm not ashamed to say that, you can change and your eyes can be open to different ways. And, I want to do all the things, and like, I'm proud of what we've done. And I'm proud of like being a part of a group of people like you and Jason, and like the people that have built things out of nothing. And like, it's our life, it's our total life, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. And I honestly don't think I can imagine being with a better group of people, and that. So I'm now appreciating all the things that I should have appreciated earlier. And I was caught in a different web. Yeah.
It's hard for all of us.
We said it before that just like, it's kind of like the irony in all of us business owners of similar businesses being kind of at arm's length with each other for so long, but nobody understands what we're going through better than each other. Like, we have very similar struggles, I'm sure, daily,
I'm sure.
between us, and we vent almost to like walls about it because there's nobody that gets it. And then we're not willing to talk to each other. And I'm sure a lot of that kind of stress can be relieved and just like, okay, you understand where I'm coming from. You get the struggle of trying to communicate with a country on the other side of the world in the middle of the night when I wish I could sleep, but I was staying up late because I don't have enough employees to package everything. And it's just, it's, but nobody else gets that.
Right. And I think that, I'm sad about like those missed opportunities as well, because I think that you guys have excelled in a lot of things, and I'm like, oh, look at that, like all like so like I think that if more people were open to communication and I mean, I'm not saying like open your books and like give like share all the things that like you worked for, but like the things that are I know that you go through that we're going through because clearly we're all in the same boat. Like I'm just upset about like the missed opportunities because maybe we could have like fixed something in a way that would benefit a bunch of people. I don't know. Like you never know. And that's not saying that we can't do anything like that in the future either. But I'm glad that there might be an opportunity that more people can be in the same space, and like just celebrate what we do, because there's not a lot of us that do it in the capacity that we do. It's a very small arena, and I don't want to leave. So
I think when they understand how much work really goes into this, it's difficult with us all being in such content-driven businesses. They see the shiny part of it.
Right.
Like, oh, wow. I'd love to work in a glitter warehouse. I'm like, would you?
No, you wouldn't. Would you? No, you don't.
Would you? Because you have to get sweaty. You're only
Yes.
glittery because you were sweating your ass off all day, and then glitter
Yes.
got on you, and
Yeah,
you
and
can't
then you
even get it
can't
the
get it
fuck off
off.
if you want it off you.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
stuck with
You'll
it.
never get it off. Yeah. So it's not just the
We just
day,
went
it's
to
your life.
we just had an appointment. Oh, we just did glass blowing over a couple days ago, little
Mhm.
class, and he was like, "So you guys are the glitter guy?" Like from my email, we get that
Right.
a lot, right? And they're
Right.
like, "So is glitter on you on purpose or?" Because we were like, "No, we were working. Like it's just that's every day."
No, I just smear it on my
It's
face
just every
before I
day.
go places.
Yeah, they're like, "Do you like do that for effect?" I'm like, "No, that's just work."
Yeah. It's
As
just,
much
yeah.
as you are upset of missed opportunities, I am also. And I will say,
Yeah.
like when I first started making tumblers, you, Heather, Suzanne, Ashley, the other Ashley, a bunch of people I forget about, some people that don't even make cups anymore. You guys were
Right.
like the be all. Like I was like, I want to be their friends. I want to know everything they know. I want to sit next to them all day. And then it was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think these girls like me. And I'm like, some of them like me, but we'll just keep crafting and keep going. And I'm like, everyone's like getting into their own thing, find their own crutch. And then I'm like, and then I started selling glitter and then more came out. And I'm like, these girls really don't like me. And I'm like, what?
What did I do? What did I do? Yeah.
I obsessed to the point where it's unhealthy. And I'm like, and finally I did bully Ashley Mears into being my friend. and I would cry to her about it a few times too. I'm like, I don't understand why this girl doesn't want to be my friend. And Ashley's like, she's the one that told me like they're just not ready. And it's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right,
And
well, I guess so.
No, like I don't even remember. Like it was so. To tell you like a little part of that. So the group of those people that I was a part of, about 6 months into Mr. Nola's Glitter, they voted me off the island, and like I became dead to them like 6 months in. So yeah, and so until this last TumblrCon, I hadn't laid eyes on them. Because I've removed them from, you block people, so you don't have to see the interactions with other people and all that. And I hadn't seen or thought about them in, I mean, God, like 6 years. And I'm bebopping down the hall at TumblrCon, and I was like, like crashing the wall. And I was like, oh, and I'm like looking, and like the more I looked around the booth, I was like, and her, oh my God, it was all of them. And I think I played it really cool. I did the thing. I was like, hey, I talked to them because, it's been a long time, and we're all different people, and we've all been through some shit and got on the other side of it or whatever. And I was fine until we went to lunch, and then like it felt like it was the day of all again. I didn't come back to TumblrCon that day. Like I was wrecked.
I knew that I was like, is she in class or something? Because I saw you in the morning the one day, and then I didn't see you again. And I was like, I want to get a picture.
I planned. I had the VIP party. I was going to hang out with you guys and have all the fun. I was going to Nikki's thing, all of that. I was wrecked at lunch. I was like, deuces, I can't do it. And so I talked to David, and he was like, why would you do that? He's like, why would you, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, it felt like it was the day it happened. And like, I woke up and like all the friends that I thought I had were now not my friends anymore. And like, it was gut wrenching. And I was just like, so we stayed in that night, and then we went back to TumblrCon, and I haven't thought about it again, but it rocked me. And so I understand where you came from. And I honestly can't even think of why. I think it's just because you get with a group of people, and you're in that hive mindset, and everybody's like, oh, we don't like this person, or we don't like this brand, or we don't like this, or we don't do that, or whatever. And you're with this hive mentality, and you think it's fine, because these are your friends, these are your people, or whatever. And then when you stop and you step outside of it and you look back and you're like, I am not that person. I've never been that person.
You get caught up with.
Yeah, and so I'm embarrassed to say that that's happened to me at least twice.
It's happened to all of us.
And so I'm like, now I make up my own mind. If you don't like that person, that's on you, but I will never not be friends with someone because someone doesn't like them. And I've always been that way, but I've always I don't know, been comfortable with a group of people, like I get so jealous when I see all of these tight groups. My mind boggles when I see all you girls together. Like when y'all went to the beach and y'all went to this and y'all went to that. And I'm like, I used to have those friends, but like they were toxic. And I'm like, that your friends don't look toxic. And like, I have PTSD. So like, even if you invited me, I'd probably be like, can you just send me a selfie? Because I probably won't go, but it makes
Put your
me
head on a stick
insanely
and bring you
jealous.
everywhere.
Like I want to, like, it makes me jealous. I'm like, I miss being a part of something that I thought was more than it was,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to talk about it because it makes me emotional, and I don't like being emotional. It's just stupid, but I don't know. It just sucks. So no, I'll just
But
keep
you
going.
seem, I didn't get to talk to you a lot before when, back when you hated me.
Right.
But so I have no idea like the difference between the Rachels, but you just seem very happy. You seem very like excited. And I said this to you too before with when we were talking about you going to the TumblrCon for the first time. Like you look refreshed. So
Yeah.
screw anything that happened in the past and you start fresh and don't let it bother you because you got a gazillion years left and you got millions of people to be friends with. That's a very inflated number.
You both come off very similar in emotion to me with how you feel
Yeah.
about this stuff.
And so it's weird. Like I hate to be emotional about it because people don't understand, because we are in front of the camera so much and we are the face of our life, and so people think that what they see in a 30-minute clip, a 30-second clip, or like a quick live or whatever, that like that's your life. And people forget that there's like, we are actually real people, with like real emotions and like real feelings, that you get your feelings hurt for something. We're human. Of course, we're going to get our feelings hurt. Is it warranted sometimes? Maybe. Or do we make shit up in our head sometimes? Absolutely. I mean, I do, like, I'm like, and it's just, yeah,
create
it's
narratives all day long.
Exactly. You're like, oh, well, when I asked her that, she said this, and she was like, and this, and then you're like, oh, I know, I already, and you have it figured out, and the other person you're talking about is just like, no, I was eating, like it had nothing to do with like I was more, and it's just, I think it's just human nature, and I think it's because we're so much in front of people, and I get people that think that we're best friends, like instantly best friends. Yeah. And so like, I like that to an extent, but when I'm away from this, our work, I want to call it work, it gives me extreme anxiety. So like, we've been on vacation before, and we've had people come up to us on vacation and be like, oh my God, Mrs. Nola. And like, I literally go in the bathroom and have a panic attack. Like, and because it's not in my element, I don't have any control over that. And it really, for as much as I'm vocal and I'm okay being in front of the camera, like, I don't know, that really gets me. And sometimes David's like, why do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like, this is just me. This is not Miss Nola. This is not Mr. Nola's glitter. This is just like me, hanging out at whatever. And like, when someone's like, oh my God, and they start talking work, and I'm like, oh, now I have to be like I feel like I have to be a different person, but I'm the same person.
That you didn't turn on the Nola. You were Rachel in that moment. You didn't know no one prepared you to turn on Mrs. Nola.
Right. Like I wasn't like, I didn't fix my face and like,
I was just being Rachel.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I'm just like mid bite of something I shouldn't be eating, or like, halfway through a bottle of something I shouldn't be drinking or something. I don't know. Like, it's just like, it's just weird. And I guess that, I mean, it kind of comes off as like callous, like, oh, everybody knows you. It's not that. It's just that I like to be prepared, like when I go to work.
Offend anyone.
Right. Because all of these people, they do know you, they spend their money with you. They spend their time with you. They put so much into your business, which is your life, so they do deserve, the return, but sometimes it's just scary. It's just scary, like being in the wild and someone being like, hey, I know you. And I'm like, nope, not me. So
And then
totally
it's
not
like,
me.
am I
Not
supposed
today.
to remember your name? Like, when's the last time?
Right. Oh, I'm
God.
terrible.
You-
Oh,
I think that's probably one
I'm
of the biggest struggles is that we've lost our anonymity to an
for
extent.
sure.
And it happened just like you said with you ordering vinyl. If you were an
Yeah.
anonymous person, there wouldn't have been an interaction. You could have just
Right.
made a purchase and it would have just
Been
came on
happy.
your doorstep, but there was an extra step involved because
Yeah.
you are who you are.
Right.
And like same thing for us. Like we've been on vacation and been spotted out too, and it's just like
Yeah.
I came
It's
here
weird.
to not be me.
Right.
I came here to escape
Exactly.
being me, and then now I'm like being
Exactly.
forced to be me, like on the spot, and it's
On the
frustrating.
spot.
It's
And
like
it's
it kind of gives you
scary.
a perspective, the most minuscule perspective of like real fame, because I couldn't even
Right.
imagine that being
I couldn't
known
either.
on like a
Yeah.
global level.
Oh my
Fuck,
God, that would be nuts.
because like,
I couldn't do
and
it.
it seems the more people that we interview and stuff that are content creators, I don't know if it's just in our space, but a lot of us seem to be like introverted type peoples
Yeah.
outside of the camera. Like
Right.
we're willing to get in front of a camera, do whatever we have to do with our content creation, but like once it's
Yeah.
off, we don't even order pizza on the phone. Like
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
that's
I don't
app
want to
only,
call
and I
anyone.
still click leave it on my doorstep. I don't want to see you. You
Yeah.
leave.
We
That
don't need
was
to
the
talk.
best thing to come out of the pandemic was that I could
Right.
still not talk to anybody delivering my food. Leave it on
Right.
the door,
Exactly.
walk away.
Just put it
I
right
will
there
watch
and
you
I'll
on
get
my
it.
camera leave
Yep.
my driveway.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's funny because like content creators, I'm very comfortable in front of the camera. And as you, but then we have people that want to do this and they're like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And I'm like, why? You're talking to yourself. Like you're in a
Yeah.
room by yourself. Nobody's looking at you. No, you can't see anybody going, don't do that, or like crinkling their nose or anything. So anything that's happening, you don't know anything. It's you,
Yeah.
the cats, whatever's in your background. Like, so like to me, it's the most comfortable. And I don't know. So, but yeah, I don't want to be spotted in the wild. And, of course, when you look like we do,
Yeah.
because this is me, whether I'm Miss Nola or not, this is what I look like. It's hard not to be spotted, like y'all know that,
Yes.
Yeah, we stand out.
and so you already stand out anyways. And so, you're super easy to spot, so
I say it all the time when we're going to events. I like looking like the loudest one in the room, but I don't want to be talked to.
I don't want to, don't
Like,
approach. Do not approach. Do not approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. But I guess it just comes with it and you just figure out how to maneuver it and manage it. Hi, buddy.
It's been a
Yeah, I think
voyage.
that's the part that people need to understand. They always want, like, you can do a business like ours, but you have to understand that you're giving away a piece of your life that you're not going to get back.
Never.
Like,
Yeah.
that
Never.
anonymity's gone. Like definitely
Yep.
it's
Yep.
it's slid a little bit with the hype and stuff being a little bit less than what it once was, but
Right.
it's still there. And like
Yeah.
getting Starbucks the other day, and the girl was like, "Are you the glitter guy?" And she was like, "You made me a cup turner, and I only made cup turners for like a couple months, 1 year." And
Oh, wow.
I was like,
That's cool.
"Does it still work?"
Yeah.
She's like, "It does."
Oh, Score.
But I'm
Then
like, should I remember your name? Like Sarah was saying, I don't remember her at all, honestly, and I
Yeah.
felt bad about that. But
Well, you
Right.
just made them and I handled everything else. I
But-
sold and shipped them.
I always apologize in advance though, because there's so many people. I'm like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you," and they're like, "We've met." I'm
You're like, listen, yeah. I feel the
Patty.
same way. I always say, "Hi, how are you?" Or it's so nice to see you. And I've tried to leave off again, or like whatever. And so it can kind of fit into that bubble. But I preface everything. I'm like, they're like, "Oh, do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Please don't say this," And I'm like,
It's me right now.
maybe. I was like, I don't remember what I ate for breakfast, which is true. So
didn't
like
study
that
for the
just
quiz.
kind of goes, like, I'm like, it's not that I didn't appreciate it or enjoy the interaction. It's just, I have ADHD and I can't remember anything it's just the way it is. It's just
And on
me.
on the list that I'm sure goes through your head of what to do today,
Yeah.
remembering your name is like so
Very,
hard.
like, it didn't even make the
I
list.
don't even know if
Like,
it registers on the list, to be honest with
yeah.
you.
Like, I don't even put it on the notebook. Yeah.
Mhm. What was it like when you guys moved out of your garage? What year did you guys move out? You moved out in 2019, right?
Yes. So we started in 2018.
You have a lot of room in your garage. I know because I have screenshots of everything.
Yeah, so it was a 2-car garage, and it was my craft room. And so David had because he had all that wood stuff from all those displays or whatever. So he built like built-ins all the way around the garage. So I had like all these fancy whatever. I didn't have anything fancy to put in it. It was junk because I'm the junk girl. So we were at the point where we needed more space than the 2 bedrooms that we were in, but we weren't ready to have a retail space because we weren't ready to take on that responsibility.
Yeah.
And so it was either bite off a big chunk of stepping out in the real world and trying to find, like, we had been looking for a location, something, we didn't want to go far from where we were. And we didn't, I mean, we've never looked at retail locations or spaces or prices or anything like that. Good Lord. So I was like, so we started looking and got prices and stuff. And then, it was like, we have this, we can do this, we have our little egg here, and this egg will be cracked open and scrambled, and this is what we have. Or we can, move your craft room upstairs. You can have both rooms. The whole floor upstairs can be like whatever. And he bribed me with a one of those things you guys just got, the craft closet thingy.
Oh, the dream box?
Yes, the dream box.
I'm real excited.
That's because I love it.
Okay. Well, you'll cry when I tell you this story.
Okay.
So he bribed me with a dream box, right? So all of that, had someone come and put it together. Nay. Moved into the garage, and that lasted all of about 6 months. And then that too.
We're getting there.
Yeah, the garage. And so early 2019, we found a space. We walked in. It was an old GameStop. There was nothing in it. And we were like, oh my God, it's so massive. Oh my God, it's huge. It's great. It's blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
stuff in there.
The little room back there where they put the games, because the games are not in the box at GameStop. They're in that little room.
Yeah. That
was my classroom, my office, my studio, or whatever. I was like, this is perfect. This is all I need. I can have a few people in here, blah, blah, blah. Good grief. Like, we were in there a month and we were like, what the hell have we done? Like, we didn't have any more room there than we did. Like, it was just more money. So then the space next to us came available. So we grabbed that, we took out the wall, and that became our warehouse. So it was connected that way. We instantly grew out of that. And then another space, because this was like a long strip mall, 3 doors down, wasn't connected. A bigger place had come available, and they gave us like a really good rounded, because we weren't connected, they gave us a really good price to like loop it in or whatever. So that became our warehouse, which it was big. It was finally big enough to where it held everything. Because at this time we have a retail location, and we have an online thing. And so they're different entities, they're supposed to be whatever. I don't know how that works, but it's 2 separate things,
Yeah.
And so then, so then our old warehouse became the place that we could have classes, we could hold events and all of that stuff. And that was fine. But it was just very hard to run your business from 2 different locations,
Yes.
So like, you would have to leave and go like down to the warehouse. And, if the girls needed something in the store, they couldn't just like walk and get it. They would have to leave the store unattended, or someone would have to watch the store to go to a different, place or whatever. So, right after, we boomed during COVID. When everybody was laying people off, we hired people.
I missed COVID for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I
everyone's
miss
like just grabbing stimulus checks and
Yes,
kicking
and
their
just
feet up,
sending it
and we
to
were all
us.
sweating, looking for people
Yes.
that are willing to work.
Yes.
Finding people willing to work when they're getting paid to do nothing was impossible.
Exactly. So we had a meeting with our crew. We were like, look, there's, we're not essential. So there's a great possibility that, we're not going to be able to continue what we're doing.
Yeah.
The store had to close, but we realized quickly that our warehouse didn't have to close, as long as we kept our employees, which are basically all of our family, and a few people that have become family. So we were like, this is the rules. You can't go out, you can't go out in places, you have to stay, we can't risk anyone getting sick. So like our pod stayed with our pod, like we did things together. We, if we had a barbecue, it was just us. So there was no outside people to be able to get us sick, because we didn't know what the hell was going on.
Nobody.
Like we thought everybody was going to die, like that's where we thought we were.
Back. It'll be fine.
We ended up having to hire people, and like we talk about it all the time. I was like, we never got a stimulus. We never got anything from it. I said, but we got everybody else's stimulus. Yeah. I mean, so like everybody that got a check, they were like, let me send it to you. And I'm like, yes, please. That was, I don't think we would have gotten as far as we did as quickly as we did had it not been for COVID. So a lot of people, I know COVID is a negative thing for a lot of people, but it was very essential to our business. So, we were able to stay in front of them. I got to craft more because, they needed interaction. They wanted to see us doing things. And like, if I was making something, they wanted it. So like, it was easy. It was easy to convert, into sales. Easy, yes. Easy. Uh-huh. Now it's not easy. Now it's not, it's a little harder.
Yes.
That's what I said I feel like happened was like, so with the tumbler making, you had, when we all started, right, it was the beginning of it. So you had years of people to stumble across tumbler making and buy supplies. We all had years and years of a fucking business plan, right? And then the pandemic came and squeezed all those people that would ever possibly be interested in it in a 2-year span. Everyone bought all their shit at once. Everything. And then now it's the LuLaRoe of fucking crafts.
Yes.
Yep.
And everyone on every post in every group is like, my sales are down. My sales are down on glitter cups. Right. My sales are down. Like, no shit, because everyone's making the same thing.
Everybody's doing it. Yeah.
And it's just like, there's you essentially got to wait it out. You got to wait it out until it completely dies. And then no one's doing it. And then it's like, oh, okay, people can start doing it again. And it'll circle. Like, I'm positive, like any trend. Just like bell bottoms, right? We bring that shit up. It comes back around.
Bell bottoms never went out for me, by the way, ever.
Yeah.
And that's Sarah keeping bell bottoms in business while they're not a trendy. It's the same people keeping all of us in business, right now that are just like, hey, it's fine if it's not super popular. I enjoy doing it.
Right.
Those are the people that are buying right now.
Yeah.
Everybody else, the fair weather crafters that are just like, I'm looking to make extra side money the fastest way possible.
Yeah, this ain't the one right now. This is not the one right now. Yeah. So with that being said, I mean, it's also having to pivot into different areas that I never thought I would be in. 2 years ago, we took the plunge of buying a printer. I have always adored printed vinyl. I've been a hoarder of printed vinyl for years. I remember going to a craft convention. I can't even remember where it was. And I think it's Smashing Ink vinyl. I think they might still be around. I'm not even sure.
Too.
And I seen her at an event, and I'm just like touching all the pretty vinyl, right? I'm like, I need this. And she used to sell like these little squares. And because I never used it, I'm like, these are perfect because they take up less room, right? I still have stacks of those little squares in there. But I was like, how do you print vinyl? Like I didn't know anything. I mean, I barely knew how to run my Cricut. Okay. And she was like, it's a printer. And I'm like, okay, I can get a printer. This was before M&G or anything like that. And she was like, she's like, it's fairly expensive. And I'm like, okay, well, how expensive? And she was like, about the price of a small car. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll take one of each of these. And then I was like on my way. And I was like, no, thank you. And then I had a friend, a former friend that printed vinyl, and I would bring all of my ideas and designs to her, and she would print. But it wasn't fulfilling for me because all of my customers were going somewhere else, buying my stuff from someone else. Yeah. So I was like, it was I had been begging David. I was like, let's, we have the big space. We had just moved in the big space. I said, we have space for a printer. Let's do it. And he fought me tooth and nail. And I was like, just take one gamble on me. Like, we've taken some gambles before, and some of them have worked and some of them have not worked. I have a warehouse full of crap that I can't get rid of. But anyways, I'm like, let's do this one thing. Let's just do this one thing. Yeah, I was like, just do this one thing. So we did. And within a month, I had that printer paid off. And I was like, I can't keep up. And it fulfilled me in a way that I wasn't being fulfilled with doing anyway else, because I was control of my art. It's different when the one thing that I remember, the person, we're not friends anymore, unfortunately. And the thing that she said to me, she was like, I don't understand. I printed everything you asked me to. And I was like, and this is what you also don't understand. Then you owned my art. You owned my ideas. You owned my creativity. And I wanted to be in control of that, and I wanted to have a say of like what gets done and when it gets done and how it gets done. And I have my own ideas. And so when we started printing vinyl, that was why it was very important for me to find a specific name for it. We call our vinyl sticky sheets. If you ever hear someone,
it's a great name.
If you ever hear someone say sticky sheets, I know it's mine, because no one on the planet calls vinyl sticky sheets.
Nope.
So it fit into our business model of branding everything. And so it fulfilled me in a place where I was going through what people don't talk about in this industry is like the emotional and mental drain it takes off of you to be who we are every day. Yeah. In addition to having everyday life, your own family to deal with, your own family traumas and issues, and all of this stuff. I went through a terrible, terrible, terrible episode of depression where it was bad. I hid out for 2 years. I didn't, I stayed home. I didn't go to work. If I did any kind of content, it was my hands only. I was going through a really bad epoxy reaction to epoxy that I was using. This was before we had started on the line going down to build our own epoxy. And I was just mentally, physically, emotionally done. Everything. Like, if I was ready to just close the door and this was gone. I didn't want to go back to anything here because it did nothing for me. It was always a reminder of, what my body's going through, and how could I get in front of people telling people like, hey, this is something that you need to do, when my body was like, you have done something very wrong, yes. And like, I was like, I can't, I'm not one to bullshit people. People ask me, can I send you something and you can review it? And I'm like, yeah, you can, but as long as you're okay with me going, I hate that. I don't like this. And they're like, cause I don't sell things that I don't use. Yeah. I buy a lot of things. And if you don't see me using them, it's because I don't use them. I use the things that I use, and I will tell anybody, even if it's not mine, like your guys' UV resin. I sell UV resin. I like yours better. I mean, I said it, and I use yours. I have yours. I've used yours on projects that I've made for TV stations. So like, I've used people ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite UV resin? I was like, mine and the Nola guy, but yeah. So, and so I was going through a really, really bad time, and nothing was making me feel like I was a part of anything. I didn't go to any events. Like, there was a whole year of things that I just hid from. And the first time that I came back out, after I started printing, was TumblrCon the year before last. And I was, in my mind, we were in the past, like how you see in all those groups, like, what's your favorite glitter seller? What's your favorite supplier? Blah, blah, blah. For me, I used to see us all the time. Like, they would say us all the time. And now, like, it's all these people that I don't know. And like, when I see my name, it's because it's somebody I know. It's like my friend going, "Oh, Miss Nola's glitter." I was like, "Oh, thanks, girl." But like, I felt like we were like we were on the verge of not being relevant anymore. And when we went to TumblrCon, not last year, but the year before last, that I think that is what really solidified, like, I knew that I did a lot of things for people because people tell you that all the time, but like you hear it like in messages or whatever, but you never actually get to hear people tell you what you've done for them in person. And that's a really heavy thing to carry a lot of time because crafting is something everybody uses for therapy, in my opinion. Like it's what heals a lot of people, and that comes with a lot of heavy things that they tell you. And the stories that I heard that year at TumblrCon, and like what we've done, what I've done, just like being honest about my situation and like my mental health. Mental health is like huge for me. It made me realize that I'm not done. I'm not anywhere near being done, and I don't want to be done. And so it renewed me to like, I want to do more. I'm not done. You know, I have a lot more to do. So yeah.
You look so excited. That was the first time we actually got to meet in person. And
it was something.
Right before, I'm pretty sure you're the one that broke the ice between us too, because you sent me that beautiful arrangement when we were gonna have Alex.
Yes.
And I was like really taken back. I'm like, is this a trick? Is something gonna pop out? She told me to be here for this. Like,
it's a glitter bomb.
A spider in here.
That was just really amazing. So I was I mean, I was gonna be starstruck seeing you for the first time anyway, but that knowing that we could go into that and I could be like, we can talk like we're friends. I was really excited to see you, and I know if I was that excited, other people that have been following you hardcore for years were like over the moon. You're kind of a big deal, Rachel. I don't know.
And that's that, and I still struggle with that. I'm just like, I'm just a regular. To me, like I know people tell me that, and that's something heavy to carry. It's really because I don't really want to be I just want to be me. I just want to be a hot mess and have fun and create cool things, and, you know, just continue doing what we're doing, you know? So it's hard, but I'm learning to accept it a little bit, you know, just not on vacation. Don't do it on vacation.
If you see me eating, do not approach.
Yeah, if I have a drink in my hand or a hamburger or something, just be like, hey, or like, you know, I don't know.
We can get you some of the big sunglasses and the hats like the celebrities do when they go out.
So we used to have our truck used to be wrapped with Mr. Nola's photo. Oh no! Oh, absolutely!
I forgot that was one of.
Did you have enough of that of being spotted?
Coolest things I've ever seen anyone do. I completely forgot about the truck.
So I've seen pictures of us in that truck in more places. Like, I've literally have to blow up the pictures going, where the hell were we? Like, I mean, just, you know, because we went to Creativation a couple years ago, and we drove from New Orleans to Arizona. And David, because he loves people, okay? And so he loves that. Like, he thrives on that. Me, not so much. So he was like, oh, we're going to do, take it on the road, spot the truck, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, every time we stopped, you know, he would be like, oh, tell him we're at exit, blah, blah, blah. And we'd have people come and like take pictures with the truck and all that. It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. But like, seriously, that was just an open door. So like, I would be getting into the truck in a parking lot somewhere nowhere near our house or whatever. And I'd have somebody come up to me and go, oh my God, I know where you live. And I'm like, wait, what? What? Yeah, because our truck was like where our old house was on the corner of two very main on a corner of two very main roads, and the truck is like a freaking moving billboard, right? And so like, if you see, you know, the truck, right? So it took about 4 months of people going, oh my God, I know where you live. And I'm like, no. So about 6 months after that, we sold the house and we moved somewhere. I don't normally tell people where we live. We live way out and way back. It's out of the way. You're never going to pass by my house. If you're passing by my house, you're stalking me. And so I'm very happy out here. But we still I don't do the truck anymore because gave me extreme anxiety. But my Jeep is the same way. People know my Jeep.
Well,
And
yeah.
so when I drive my Jeep, everybody knows my Jeep, but I don't drive it. It's not an everyday driver because I don't want to take the doors off and on all the time. So the doors in the top stay off all the time. And so it just stays in the garage until I drive it. But yeah, it's really weird when someone's like, oh my God, I know where you live. And I'm like, you don't even know who I am. How do you know where I live? So yeah.
Stop telling
So
people
when we
that.
got another one, they were like, do you want to do it again? I was like, absolutely not. Nope. No, thank you.
Nope.
We're done.
I
Yeah.
didn't even
we're
think
done.
about that. All I could think about is how cool is that truck? Like, I want to do that. We have to wrap
It was
everything
so
in the
cool.
glitter guy.
See, but
Yeah,
this
it
time
was
you
it
can
was
wrap it
really
yourself.
cool. Yeah. Don't tell him that. No,
I already bought all the supplies to wrap cars, so I'm going to be a car wrapper. I have all these aspirations. I'm going to do all these things.
David
I'm
thinks,
also a
okay, so
furniture,
David says, because, we have the same printers, so we
Yeah.
essentially can do the same thing, right?
Yes.
So when I was looking, before I got the purple Jeep, I had a white Jeep because I wanted it totally white and I wanted to have a blank canvas because I was going to do something fantastic to it, right? So I was going to go get it wrapped somehow. And so David got it in his mind that, oh no, we can do that ourselves. And I'm like, do you want me to wrap your car? Yeah, I don't know. And he was like, oh, it's square. Jeeps are square, blah, 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 blah. So we had a couple meetings
a
with
professional.
Yeah, so we had a couple meetings with the guys that we always pay to wrap he's wrapped my Spider, the truck, all of the stuff, our windows in our store and all that. And so like I'm talking to him and I'm like, this one thinks he can wrap the Jeep. And he was like, no, he can't. And I'm like, can you say that again? Can I have that on record? And he was like, Jeeps are, even though they're small and they're like square or whatever, square-ish, he said a Jeep is the most hardest thing to wrap.
Ooh.
It looks like they have so many little curves.
I guess,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was just like,
curves.
I don't need to know the whys. I just need you to say that and put that in writing. I'm not having him, like, oh, we could totally do it. And he would do it. No. So, yeah. So I was like, absolutely not. And so then whenever the purple one came out, I sent him a message and I was like, because purple's my favorite color. I was like, look, it's the special color for the year. And he was like, you want that, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, whew, got out of the whole wrap thing. I was like, it's purple. We're not going to wrap it now. So it's good. Yeah.
So if you ask him for a car, the answer is always yes. But if anything else, it's like, why are you buying that?
Pretty much, yes. Why do you need another glue gun? We literally got in a fight at Costco over a banana fruit basket. It was $20.
Some of this is sounding familiar.
So we're walking down the aisle and it was like this little wire basket that had like a little hooky thing at the top where you hook your bananas on it so your bananas don't sit on the counter, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. I've never seen a banana stand, right? So I put it, he was like, you don't need that. And I'm like, wait, what?
My bananas are on the counter right now.
It's $20. Like it wasn't even about I've even talked about this in my therapy session because it pissed me off so bad because I was like, he was so dead set. No, you don't need it. And I was like, it wasn't even about that. And then the point, I'm like, it's just about you telling me no. Like,
Dad, it's my allowance and I'll spend it how I want.
It's $20 and it's for a fruit basket. Did I get it? No. Am I glad? Yes, because I don't have any room on my counter, but it was the principle. It was the principle.
Well, now your bananas are probably on your counter. So
they just sit on the counter right next to the apples. Most of the time they go bad.
Can you believe it?
I know. Like, this is first world problems. They're sitting on the counter, not even in a wire basket. Yeah. So we argue over the stupidest things. Like, and I was mad. I don't think he was mad, but I was mad. I was like legitimately angry. We were with my best friend and her husband. We were like, and like we met up like in the frozen section and she was like, y'all ready? I was like, I'm been ready. Let's go. And she was like, what is the matter? I was like, nothing. I was so angry, which is stupid thinking about it now. But yeah. But yeah, if I tell him I want a car, like if he shows me a picture of a car and I make any kind of good comment about it, he'll have it. So he showed me like a car or whatever. And I was like, oh man, I really love that color or whatever. So what is it? He has it. So now I'm like, it's got tires. I like that. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to like be supportive and not be that supportive, like I want to support him and like, yay, that's nice. But I don't know the difference between any kind of cars. He'll talk about a car and I'm like, okay. And he's like, the gray one, the white one. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, just tell me the color. I don't know a brand or nothing. I know my Jeep because it's
Jason's
a Jeep.
a
That's
little
it.
half and half. He's half a window shopper and half a shop shopper. So he'll just send me trucks all the time because we both like the mini trucks.
Right.
And I get into it
Yeah.
too. But I'm a buyer. I'm like, oh, we're gonna buy that, right? Every time I'm like, we don't have any money for this? Why are you sending it to me? Or then
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like, so are we gonna go get it this weekend?
Are
He's
we
like,
buying this
no,
one?
like I was just showing
Just
you the
showing
truck
you,
and the
yeah.
price is
Zero
good.
intention of purchases. I'm
It's
like,
like,
oh,
hey,
because
this
it
is
comes up in
cool.
my feed, and I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
a nice truck for a nice price. Not nice for us, but
For us, but
I
yeah.
should share this deal with you.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
like writing a check already. I'm like,
Yeah.
how many
When do
trucks
we
do
pick it
have,
up?
So I'm telling you,
Jason?
like the last truck that we bought, she bought it, and it's one that we owned previously. We
Don't
sold
get
it.
me started
We-
about this freaking
We sold
I
it, and
remember
then
that-
we
I remember
talked
that
about it, and we
story.
bought it back. Sarah bought it back, and she's like, well, I got it because like you really wanted it. And I said, I only really wanted it because it was a great truck for you. I was like, I said I regret selling it because she can't drive stick, and it was
Right.
an automatic. And I
Yeah.
was like, it was the best automatic custom truck that we owned. So that's
Yeah.
why I regret selling it. But that in turn turned into like, oh, you want
Go
it
get
back.
Because he never said those words. All he kept saying is, I can't believe we sold that truck. I wish we didn't sell that truck. Do you think he's selling that truck? Where's that truck even at? You think it's even alive anymore? Or did they trash it? I never see it anymore. Never once did he say, I regret selling that truck for you, Sarah, my wife, who didn't even like that truck because you wanted to paint it a girly color, and I told you that you can't paint it because it's an iconic truck. And here we are.
Oh my gosh.
And then as soon as I saw it, I was like, he's not going to get one over on me. We're going to go get that truck
It's
right
coming
now. He's
back.
never going to tell
Coming
me.
back home.
I have PTSD over it now. I can't handle regret. That's why I don't throw anything away. You cannot do that
Same.
to a hoarder.
Yeah,
Same.
it's like we finally
Same.
got rid of a truck that we technically didn't need anymore because we have too many damn trucks in the first place. And here she goes, just buying it right back.
Got it back. So do you still have it?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's gone to the most
it's one of the
shows.
trucks coming to a car show this weekend with us. We're bringing 2 trucks this
Oh.
weekend.
Awesome.
I'm driving it though.
Yeah, she actually
you?
has to drive the damn
There's no
thing.
AC in it.
Oh no.
See,
Oh,
I'm
you need a
not,
fan or
I'm not
something.
as the same person as I was when we started getting in the mini trucks. When we started getting in the mini trucks like
Mhm.
8 years ago, it was different. I'm like, oh, I'll just throw my hair up and I'll put it'll be
Right.
We were saying how wanty
Now
you
I got
were
some
before
shit
we
to
started
do. I gotta get
recording.
busy.
Yeah,
now
Sarah's
I
very
need AC.
wanty.
I need, I can't be driving with my windows
Same.
down.
Yeah, can't be blowing my hair around. Yeah,
Yeah, she's
gotta
like, my
have my
seats don't
certain
massage
glasses
me.
on.
She's ridiculous. I'm like, do
Same.
you understand
Same.
where we came from? What is this? I know you.
You put me here. We're here because we're together now, and now we can't go back. We ain't slipping back.
There's
No.
no
Go
back.
back.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, we can't go back. Yeah.
You can't go back on anything anymore anyway. Jason's like a mini me at this point. I've put all my bad habits some of my bad habits.
She did. She has impressioned a lot of these isms on me now. I got a lot of Sarah isms.
Most of them are good.
Road rage is one of them.
Oh, you don't want to ride with I have very bad road rage and like verbal road rage. Like I will no one under the age of 21 should be in the car with me because I will literally cuss everybody out.
Correct.
David is different. He doesn't necessarily like verbally, but he's like the one's like, you're not getting in front of me. Like, and like he is that one to where like the last 2 times I've been in the car with him, I've gotten car sick. I'm like, I'm about to punch you. Like, just let the guy over because I'm about to vomit in the front seat. Like, would you stop? And he was like, you shouldn't have waited 40 miles before you had to get over. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's me. I mumble under my breath as I'm like, as I'm motherfucking him the whole time.
Yes, like, I'll dare you. You're not getting in front of me. You're not getting one more car. You can get behind me. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I wish I could remember what you said because I started getting on Jason real bad about the things that he would say and the things that he would wish on other people.
I would go to scream.
I really wish that I could remember because it was something along the lines of like stepping on a Lego later, but it wasn't that. It was really good.
I tried to get
like,
better at toning down my anger. So the anger's there. So I just have to focus it differently. So instead of like,
I hope you have a
wishing
really bad
horrible
day.
death upon these people that I really don't wish, I actually thought about it. Like, I was like, I'm wishing things that are just not nice, like really not
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just really hope you have a bad day. Like that's what I like yell out loud.
I hope your coffee is cold and they forget the creamer.
Yeah.
But Jason's on a whole nother level too. Like,
Unless
he
they ordered
thinks-
iced coffee, then I hope that
This
it's
is
hot.
true. Yeah. Then
Jason
it's hot.
thinks that he's a rule follower, although he doesn't really understand that he skews those rules. He changes the rules. So like the road that from our warehouse to the highway, Haddonfield, Berlin, it's a little bit of a stretch and it's stupid. It's 35 miles an hour and then it turns to 45 miles an hour.
Ugh.
And people up here, they be doing the speed limit. There's two
Ugh.
lanes. But most of the time, you can get into what is actually identified as the left lane. It is a residential
Fast
street.
lane.
This is the left lane.
Left
So
lane's
you
the fast
ride the
lane.
left lane up, and then you can get on the highway
I
pretty
think so.
quick. Unless someone's in front of you doing the speed limit, and then instead of just sitting behind them being angry, you just go around them. No.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Jason's just yelling at them like,
Mhm.
"Why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to me? You shouldn't even."
Instead of
be
going
here."
around them, I will sit on their bumper 1
Oh
inch
my
away
God.
and just
He's like-
just be like, "Why are you here? Get
He's
out
like,
of
"You
this
can't do
lane
this
right
in
now."
The fast lane. You can't do this in the fast lane. I'm like, Jason, we're
I'm
on
like,
the
you
street.
have to
There's
see
no
that
fast
you're the
lane.
problem.
There's no fast lane. There's just 35 miles an hour.
I'm like,
Don't
there's
get me
no
wrong.
way you're not looking in your rear view and seeing
I also
what you're creating in this
Made like
traffic
this.
behind you. And then
Like
we just
this,
go past
holding
them,
on
and they're
to
always
steering
just like
wheel,
this.
playing
Not,
this choice.
I think I'm teaching them a lesson, but meanwhile, I'll eventually go around them, and they'll just be like, not even understanding that they are causing all this trouble to my
yeah.
life.
Listening to their podcast, not paying
Yep.
no attention, going 35 miles
Hopefully,
an
it's my
hour.
podcast at least.
trying to teach him that person
Maybe,
was
yeah.
actually that person was in the right and you are in the wrong. Although that person that's in the right annoys me and I wish that they weren't there doing the speed limit because that's quite annoying. That's the
Right.
speed limit. They're actually following the rules.
That's
There's no fast lane on a residential street, sir.
There's fast lanes.
I,
It's the unwritten rule. Get the fuck over from the
say.
from the left lane.
Move. Yeah,
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, why are they doing this
Yeah.
to me? I'm like,
Keep-
the speed limit? I
Keep
don't
right
know.
past left. Keep right past left. That is a universal law.
So my dad was a truck driver, and so even before that was a law, that was a law in our house. You know, if he was in the car and you were like just chilling in the left lane, he would be like, "Why are you here? Why are you in this lane? Get over in the right lane. This is a passing lane only. This is to get around." He's like, "You don't drive in this lane," and I'm like, "Who says? There's no
I
law
live in
that says
lane,
this."
but I'm like,
Yes. Yeah, but now here there that is actually a law. I don't know if it is where you guys are, but the left lane is for you're not supposed to drive in the left lane at all. Like it is
on
for
highways or on double lane streets or everything.
I don't know. I don't keep up with
Everywhere.
all I know is what. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
All right, I'll take
probably
that.
the interstate. I don't know. Maybe I have to look it up. I don't really know. All I know
I
is
have to look it up because if I'm right, I have to let Jason know, and if I'm wrong, I gotta let it go.
But like we
Yeah.
were talking about earlier in the episode,
Leave it
creating
under the
narratives in
rug.
your head. I'll be behind these people, and I'm just creating this whole storyline in my head of why they're in this lane. I'm like, you are doing
They
this on
see
purpose. You see that I'm back here, and you know that I got somewhere to be, and you just think that
You know
you're
I'm late.
important. I'm like, what is more important about your day than mine that you're allowed to fucking be here?
Permanent.
you should have left your house earlier or left it later or something.
Exactly,
I'm in a
right?
hurry. Yeah, I'm in a hurry.
Nuts.
Rachel, I
So
wish you could be on every episode of Craft Tea. This was a lot.
Oh, thank you. Next time we'll have David on with us.
Yeah,
'cause
I
has
thought
a
he was
lot
going to be with
do.
you, but this is okay.
I forgot until this morning, till I got the alert an hour before, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, so I didn't tell him. I might have told him in passing, but yeah.
This will be another reason to bring you both back then because we
Yes,
had Rachel and now we have Mr. and Mrs. Nola.
Yes. So let's do that again. Whenever you want to have us back, we definitely will join you guys. This was a lot of fun, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel like we literally just scraped the surface, so we're gonna have to have another one with you too. We're gonna have to have another one with you, and this has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, we definitely, besides this, we need to get together, like all of us, in a space, like somewhere in real time, you know, because I think that, I think Jason, you and David have a lot in common that y'all would have a lot of fun. He's a whole ass mess, and he's fun to be around, and he looks very quiet and he's very reserved until you get to know him, and then God help us all.
That's me.
So there's that.
That's the same
Yeah.
with me, yeah.
Yeah. So like he's like, he always says, he never talks because I never give him a chance to talk, but he takes everything in. He listens to everything.
This is
So he
fun.
knows. Yeah.
Well, I'm
But yeah, we'd love to
excited.
come back.
Well, I'll let you get back to your day. We'll get back to
Okay.
ours. I suppose we'll start something. The fire marshal's coming eventually. I got boxes to move.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Some more of them failed ideas that we have to offload.
I mean, I got to figure it out too. Like,
You want to
there,
throw your
it's just
socials and
falling up.
stuff out there, Rachel?
Where can people find you?
Before we sign
So
off?
you can find us at mrnolasglitter.com. That's our website. On Facebook, it's Mr. Nola's Glitter. We have a Facebook group. I'm just learning the TikTok thing. I
Same.
suck at it, but I can watch it like a pro. So if you want to follow me, I'll go follow you back. I comment on everything I can. And, just around. The next place that we will be in, we will be at JPJ in Daytona Beach on
Yes.
November 4th. So
Ooh,
we're doing
right
a
up.
kind of cool thing. We're doing a unboxed. So we're going to have 2 boxes built. Neither one, David and I, it'll be Team T-Rex, which is David, and then Team Unicorn, which is me. You get to buy a ticket, whose team you want to be on. Neither one of us is going to know what's in the box. Our crew is going to pack the box. And when we unpack the box, our teams are going to create tumblers with it. And then I think Jennifer's going to have someone come and vote whose tumbler idea was the best. And so there'll be a team winner. So
And we
we're
will
looking
definitely
forward to that.
have a link down below if you guys want tickets
Okay.
to that. We are
Yes.
huge providers.
Yes.
I was going to say huge
Yes.
supporters of JPJ.
Yes,
And of
I
course,
can't
with the
wait.
Nolas. I think it's gonna be so much fun. When I
Yes.
saw that and really heard your concept, I'm like, that's gonna be
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So this is the first time we're going to try it out, and if it works out, we'll bring it home and try it at home to do it on the road. And I hope that you guys can make it down there.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
I want to
I know,
so bad.
I know.
I'll let you know
Yes.
if we're coming down.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
See you later.
Thanks, Rachel.
All right, thanks guys. It was so nice to be here. Thank you.
All right. Let's
All
get
right,
back to
bye.
The kettle and never bring the kettle to the pot.
Now, pour the tea.